Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller, and welcome to the first show of November, since we didn't have one last week there, because we took Halloween off to enjoy the holiday and spooky season as well we should have. So, and of course, I can't do this without my brother from another mother here. Get on here, Mr. Seth Manhammer.
What up, y'all? How's it going tonight? How y'all in internet land?
I'm doing good. I hope everybody else is doing good out there too. So, and yeah, I gotta find out what the Ka fanfic hater tag is all about. We'll get into that here shortly when we got some discussion on certain things here. So,
yeah, yes, we do. It might be a lively episode tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
No. So, first things first here, I'm going to put you in the hot seat early on because last time we were here, we were talking about our favorite toys and toy lines and all that stuff. And then your internet decided to, it wasn't just your internet. It was an area-wide outage.
Yeah, it was an outage. So thank you, Spectrum. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I love it. It's like it was literally your turn. It's like, and Seth, what do you think? And then click. It's like, son of a bitch.
So my toys.
Let's talk toys first.
Yes. So my toys. Now I already got my images pulled up here. So I always.
And what's up, Bradley?
What up, Bradley? These are since George covered G.I. Joes last week, you know, that was his thing. One of my earliest toys were the old school Superpowers figures from DC. That's how I learned who some of the more obscure characters were, like Red Tornado and Firestorm, and friggin' Darkseid. I didn't they're like, how was an 8-year-old in Louisville, Kentucky supposed to know who Darkseid was, because they didn't run him on TV, but the Superpowers figures had him, and they were so much fun. They had the little gimmick where you squeeze the legs and they did the punch, and
or you squeeze Flash's arms and as the legs moved, or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they were so much fun. You could so much imagination, like just playing with them and like reenacting big scenarios and battles and adventures and that. Those were some of my favorites. I remember probably one of my youngest toys being the DC Superpowers line. And
they're well crafted figures too. That's the thing.
They really are. And one thing that I think is really kind of neat about them too is that Kenner used these a lot of these molds over again in the Batman line that Toy Biz started out with, because Toy Biz started doing the Kenner stuff after a while, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think they actually started with the Batman movie, aka Batman '89, started with it doing toys for it, and absolutely, though a lot of those same molds were used for that were from Superpowers.
Yeah, because they would swap parts. A lot of these too, like a lot of these parts you could just like pop off and like reuse the molds, and so like I think there's what was it, the Riddler Superpower or Batman figure that had the Green Lantern ring on the hand because the mold was the same as the Green Lantern action figure. Yeah. So you could notice little details like that if you looked hard enough. Because they tried to do as few unique sculpts as possible. But for the time, these toys were badass, and they're starting to make retro versions now, aren't they?
They have been for quite some time. McFarlane Toys, basically, they've got like the DC Direct, which are like the taller, like the 7-inch, sculpted figures, and then they do the Superpowers. Now they don't have the action gimmicks anymore, but the style and the mold and a little bit better detailing and paint jobs are done. And of course, now they're getting way more obscure or making references to different outfits Superman had or Batman had, or whatever else. So they're getting really in the weeds on the Superpowers. And of course, they're releasing a lot of characters who've never had action figures of this style, like Jon Stewart or the Batman Who Laughs, or even Disco Nightwing, things like that. So,
yeah.
And you mentioned like there were some of these figures that you were introduced to, because even you were more of a DC fan than I was growing up. I was a Marvel kid growing up. So,
right.
Like, I didn't know who Dr. Fate was, but I'm like, oh, he's cool as hell. I like the look.
Right, yeah, he just looks cool. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you're a kid and you see him on the pegs, and you're like, I want him. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like yeah, these figures are probably why I'm more of a DC fan.
I dig it.
Is because I grew up with them, and these were the first starts of adventuring imagination and creating
Mm-hmm.
my own worlds and universes. Because I had a
Sure.
lot of these figures.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah,
Being, even though I was a Marvel kid, I did too. Um, it's strange. There were certain tentpole characters I like. I never had a Robin or a Joker, but I had Batman and Superman. I had Firestorm.
mhm.
I had I had Doctor Fate. I had Flash. I had Green Lantern. Always wanted Green Arrow, but I never got him.
Yeah.
And I think I had Lex Luthor as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Lex Luthor was always one that I wanted because he was bigger than the rest of them.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Well, the
that
suit.
was a
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, I always wanted him in Deep Six as the GI Joes because they were unconventional. You know,
That's
like
true. Oh, and
yeah.
also I did a Martian Manhunter as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now with the Marvel Secret Wars, I didn't have like all the play sets and all the vehicles, but I had all the figures that were released at least in the states.
Oh yeah,
I did not get the 4 ones that were released in like Europe and Mexico and whatever else. So
right.
all right, and your next toy
Then yeah,
section
my
here.
next toy slide, yeah, it's up there. Yeah, you might have to zoom
Oh.
in to see it, but these were more in my so if my growing up toys were the superpowers. These were more in my I would guess to say my 8 to 10 or 11-year-old toy playing phase. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like so I that's when I got into the Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
And that Toy Biz was cranking out some bangers, man.
they
Like they
were.
started out with the X-Men, they made these killer Wolverine figures. I loved the Nightcrawler figure. The
Mm-hmm.
articulation was stuff that we had never seen. The gimmicks were cooler. Wolverine had pop out claws, man.
Yeah,
Like he couldn't
that's
move
true.
his elbows, but he had the pop out claws, you know. Yeah. But then they came out with another version of Wolverine not too long after that in like the yellow and blue costume
Mm-hmm.
where his claws were like he could move his elbows and his claws were done in a different way
Yeah,
that allowed it to. It was a better sculpt, and I think that was like why they did. But it was still the first figure was still cool.
yeah, it
Uh,
was. Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
But the
Yeah,
Marvel side had all kinds of crazy versions too. Yeah, they. Or what were you about to say?
no, so yeah, this was your toy aisle in pretty much the entirety of the '90s and a little bit in the 2000s
Yeah.
with the Marvel Toy Biz line. I mean, that was basically how kids were introduced to characters. I mean, and there was deep characters too in the X Men. So it was pretty much
Oh yeah.
anybody who ever appeared on the animated series was they made a figure of, and then they started going into the regular Marvel universe and Spider-Man stuff as well. And yeah, it's like there were so many, there was a lot of characters that weren't done. People were always asking for, and of course,
Hold on.
oh,
Sorry.
yeah, you're fine. Yeah, I hear you, but I don't see you.
Yeah.
But and then like you started getting into like the Marvel Masterpiece figures, like there you are,
Yeah.
the Marvel Masterpiece stuff, and then now we got the Marvel figures they have now, where it's like it's the sculpts are crazy and they've gone well beyond their days of the Marvel Toy Biz line. But yeah, this was definitely the start of I mean, Grant, you had before this you had the Marvel Secret Wars, but that was still a small line in comparison to this.
Yeah, this had waves. Like each one of these each one of these numbers is a wave of figures
Mm-hmm.
that came out, and like I think what there were 2 waves a year that
Yeah,
came out at the time because they pumped toy stores full of these because they were cheap. They were like
yeah.
$5. Yeah, they were they were affordable. You get like the parents would get their kids a figure to shut them up. That's how we had so many. I think that really is it part of the reason why it's like they could beg like we could beg our parents for a cheap toy, and these were better than most gimmick stuff. And
Yeah.
like GI Joes were the same way. But yeah, but I'm looking at this now. The Punisher figure. Do you remember his little crappy trench coat, the little plastic?
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, that thing was awful. I wanted
Yeah.
one so bad because I thought the trench coat concept was cool though.
Yeah, I had the trench coat one. It was kind of like, We got better Punisher figures later on.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely did. There was one Punisher figure that had the blasting cap.
Oh yeah,
Gimmick.
that was a
Yeah.
'90s one too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this was a Marvel Select figure, so this obviously wasn't sold in regular stores. This was sold like online or specialty stores or whatever else. But it was a Punisher figure, and he was basically like, obviously, trying to get some information out of a criminal, and basically had him like thrown onto a pinball machine and like busted through the glass of the pinball machine. He was basically like had his like hand around his throat with a gun to his head. That was the figure.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like Punisher had like some dude pinned up against a pin, like laying down on a pinball table. He'd like slammed him through, and had him at gunpoint. Bear ready to ask him some serious questions. Like
Right.
that's a great figure. I know. Oh, Diamond Dave Mattingly in the house. It says Lego for the win. Yeah,
what up, Dave? Now here's where Dave tells a story about how he used to be a Lego designer for 12 years and
yeah.
made some iconic sets. Like I'm just waiting for that to come up. Yeah.
that's totally Dave's MO. It's like here's something really cool I did a long time ago, and like what is your life? But yeah, that's awesome stuff. Yeah, I love me some Legos. It's a very tranquil, especially like nowadays when it's like here's like open bag number one. It's like everything's so greatly detailed with Lego sets now. But you showed me the upcoming X-Files set, which looks really cool.
Yeah, there's I saw yesterday. I think next year is coming out the first Star Trek Lego set, the Enterprise D.
The next generation
with the Bridge Crew minifigs.
Mm-hmm.
It's $400, and I want it so bad. I am such a Trekkie that I want this stupid thing so bad.
It looks pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I mainly want it just for the Bridge Crew minifigs.
I know, yeah. Because you get everybody. It's like all the main cast. Even like you even get like Tasha Yar and Wesley too, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. And Guinan, I think, is one of them.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You get a Whoopi Goldberg Lego figure. Yeah.
Let me double check that real quick, because I don't want to get people excited, but
yeah, the other set that is really impressive that I saw is the Goonies One-Eyed Willie pirate ship set. That looks really cool too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, you absolutely can get a Whoopi Goldberg. Hang on, I'm gonna pull up the Verge over here, because that's where I first read about it yesterday. And yeah, there you go, Whoopi Goldberg. She's guy, and I see that big old purple headdress right there.
Oh, look! Oh, that's great.
Yep, there's Beverly, Wesley. Looks like we got Geordi, Worf, Deanna Troy, Data, Picard, Riker, Guinan, Beverly, Wesley. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so no Tasha Yar, but yeah.
Okay, no Tasha. Yeah. So
is Data is that Data with an easel, or is that? I don't know what that
is. The picture's too small. I can't see what it is. But
it's but still, just that level of detail for that Lego set is like, I really want that.
I know, that's really cool.
Yeah, oh gosh, man, that's what I wanted with Lego sets as a kid. I dreamt of having like the Marvel sets that they have now, or the DC sets with the little minifigs to play with them. And oh man,
I know. I never saw it in stores, but I wanted to check it out. But there's a Doctor Strange Sanctum Sanctorium set. I think there's an Avengers Tower set as well. So,
oh really?
I think so. I know there's the Sanctum set. That's for sure. But I think there's an Avengers Tower set, or at least like it's not like a full length, like but it's like a part of Avengers Tower, sort of thing like that, like the top end, the business end of it,
Right.
So, before we get to your next thing, couple comments here, Mr. Bradley's chiming in. Do we all know that Ghostbusters figures made from the movie versions of the characters with G.I. Joe S joints? Yeah, basically was it the NECA figures, I think, or basically we've actually had some of those in the shop before. Somebody sold us some, and then
shit.
And then someone saw them and they turned right around the next day because they had all their accessories like up. But yeah, it's like it's all four of the main dudes. They look like the movie versions of themselves. Great posability, good features on them. Actually, I think these were like the exclusive like slime versions. So they had like some like schmutz and stuff all over them and stuff like that. So there were different versions of them. But yeah, this was actually it was a full set of all four. But what like they sold them individually. Like you had to get the set of all four of them. But yeah, I've seen those figures, Bradley, and they are very cool.
Man, oh man, yeah, that sounds cool. I would love to get a set of those. Ghostbusters is my favorite movie of all time.
Nice. Yeah, so they're trying to think. It's been a few years since it's been out, so yeah, it may worth checking the bay on that one there.
Okay, yeah.
Also, Bradley, oh yes, I remember this one. A Punisher figure that transformed into a gun, but the barrel of the gun was located. Well, yes, in a very awkward position. Yes, when he transformed into the Punisher, the barrel of the gun was basically kind of looked like his dick.
Yeah. Yep, it sure did. I do remember that.
Yep, because there was a very short line of transforming Marvel superhero figures, and Punisher was one of them. And obviously, oh sure, we transform into a gun, very Megatron-esque, and it's like, y'all didn't think this one through, did you?
Yeah, it was like every once in a while, toys get through, like the Harry Potter broom that vibrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Bradley, for taking us down memory lane of that one. I almost forgot about that toy. But yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah. I remember that one. Well, speaking of your next choice here, sir.
Yes, G1 Transformers. Now these looks like some of the Japanese ones, but still, you get the idea. You got your Ultra Magnus, you got your that looks like
Blaster in the back there.
Yeah, Blaster, Perceptor, and couple of the Beast ones from later series anyway. But no, Transformers was all over my childhood. I loved these damn things. Just the concept of cars that turn into robots. Like I love the movies unabashedly. I'm a huge Michael Bay Transformers fan. You know, it's like, I don't think they're as bad as everybody tries to make them out to be. They're fun movies to make. I thought Rise of the Beasts was fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and especially how like it kind of segues into the whole G.I. Joe cameo kind of deal. And yeah, which I'm really looking forward to and hope it continues.
You haven't heard?
No.
Paramount made an announcement like 2-3 weeks ago. Basically, we're going to have something to watch on Paramount Plus for in the near future because they're working on a series that will be a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yep. So it's not going to be a movie; it's going to be a series. Like, hey, the only thing I watch on Paramount Plus is like old Beavis and Butthead and new South Park. So like now I got something else to watch. Like hell yeah.
Dude, oh man, that would be so killer. Because yeah, it's like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I popped super hard at the end of Rise of the Beast because it's like not only that, but it was like an excellent Transformers movie. You know,
it was.
Like by the end of it, I was like, I love you, Pete Davidson. You know, it was like his whole gimmick, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm trying not to spoil the movie, but go ahead.
The one previous to Rise of the Beast, Bumblebee, I really like that one too.
Bumblebee. I did not like Bumblebee actually. That was not one of my favorites.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I felt like it was just kind of a shoddy retread of the original. Like it had so many plot beats to it, like like Bumblebee being found, and then like the awkward best friend, and then like the party scene, and the government agency trying to track everything down. Like it was just it didn't jive with me. It didn't click.
Yeah, I mean, it was meant to be a reboot as well for the franchise, and they kind of got the opportunity to redesign the Transformers to look more like the traditional G1, without without the Michael Bay movie redesigns they had and all the the principal characters. So yeah, that was kind of the whole thing too. It's like, hey, let's set this one in the '80s and let's have them look more traditional, and then basically we can kind of play with it from there. So that's basically that. When the next one they move over, it's like, all right. Well, the next big hit we had outside G1 was Beast Wars. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've also heard good things about Transformers 1. I heard that the trailers made it out to be some kind of goofy kids movie, and
I've
it's
heard the
really
same
not.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are like, yeah, like especially towards the end, like there's some dark parts in it. Like they're kind of on par with the beloved '86 film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard the same thing that yeah, it's like it's actually worth checking out. The trailers did a very poor job. They wanted to make this one straight for kids, but it's really it's okay enough for kids, maybe not little ones, but it's like it was also definitely made for real Transformers fans as well, apparently. So
Right, right.
I'm with you. I need to check it out too.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are my three favorite toy lines ever.
Nice.
And
Now, did you have a pick of a toy line that you never got that you always wanted?
that I never got. Yeah, see, the only one that I could really stick with was the Legos.
Okay.
Because it's like I was too old. I'm too old to really appreciate the licensed Lego sets the way that I would have as a kid, right? Like if
Okay.
you would have given me a Marvel Lego set back in the day, like
Mm-hmm.
all the things that I would have done with that thing, like the adventures that we would have had in my imagination as a child. Because I
Oh,
was a kid
sure.
that like I would sit there for hours and like have GI Joes like tied with strings to things like where they would rappel off of shit and like
Oh, yeah.
I would have like weird little like and oh dude, this is going to be embarrassing to admit, but like I was the goofy kid that had a video camera and I was like having like weird little videotape battles with my figures trying to make my own monster movies and superhero
See, you were
movies.
ahead of your time
Yeah.
because there's literally people that do that today, and they have pages on TikTok, Facebook, whatever social media is out there. There's literally people who do that today.
Oh wow.
Who make like there's a guy literally there's a dude I follow on Facebook that has old school GI Joe figures the Real American Hero line. His young son discovered his stuff. It's like, oh, what's all this? And he's like, let me tell you about it, kid. And so they play with them together. But yeah, they basically record videos, and sometimes special effects are involved, or if they have to make something fly, they have it on wires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they put the old music in the background from the cartoon. I mean, they do it up. But yes,
That is so cool. Wow.
you were ahead of your time, sir, because there's literally people that do that shit today. There are photographers who do action figure photography where they set up scenes and they'll have like smoke effects or lighting effects or whatever else. And yeah, so again,
Yeah.
ahead of your time. You're not a geek. You were ahead of your time, sir.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was like I know that there's like some of the stuff that still some people still do like the old Toy Biz style Toy
Mm-hmm.
Fair like comic strip deals with action figures.
Oh yeah.
There's one on like the Sword and Sorcery Reddit of Conan and Rogue going through the Savage Land. So it's and it's Conan being Conan, but Rogue is still Rogue. And
Rogue
but
Store
yeah,
Road.
she's the buxom woman in distress in this scenario too.
But if Conan tries anything and she doesn't want to, she can knock him in the next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, love it. Oh, Brad's got a question here. Did we ever get Beavis and Butthead figures? Yes.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
think we
yep.
got a couple of sets of them at various
Mhm.
points over the years.
Yeah, I think all they ever did was just Beavis and Butthead, and they did like different outfits, for them like because but they were like maybe 6 inch, maybe a little bit taller figures. I think,
Yeah.
kind of very similar molds to like how they do the Simpsons figures because it may have been the same company. But I seem to remember they did like the basic Beavis and Butthead, in the blue and the black shirts. I remember a Cornholio figure. And I think I seem to remember a Butthead at Burger World in
Yeah,
his
yeah.
Burger
I
World
was about to
outfit.
say, yeah, I think Butthead and Burger World was the next one, or Butthead with the crap kicked out of him,
Yeah, but
like with
but
the
there I
black
don't
eye. Yeah,
remember any of the other like Stewart or Mr.
no,
Anderson or any of the other figures from the series being done. I think they literally just did like a couple different Beavis and Butthead figures.
yeah. It
But yeah,
never got as expansive as the Simpsons line did.
no, nowhere
Yeah,
close to it. Good God, I
yeah.
think literally they did they think they stopped with the Simpsons figures, but for a while they did all.
They were rivaling Star Wars with picking out obscure characters to make figures in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's saying something when you get an Aunt Beru action figure with picture of blue milk,
Yes,
like which is a real figure.
it's a real figure.
Like I'm
Yep.
not making that up. There's this, yeah,
Mhm. That's a real figure, yes, sir.
yeah.
Uh, and actually, my buddy Andy Shaney is a huge Simpsons fan and has a rather extensive collection of the Simpsons action figures, all on
Okay.
cards that fill 2 rooms, the hallway of his house, and then going out into the living room a little bit as well. Where basically you just got them, they're all on card and they hang on the wall. But I mean, he, everybody.
Yeah, wow, that's impressive. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very basically everybody's got their impressive collection, and Andy, it's his Simpsons figures collection. So yeah, it's very
yeah,
impressive. Uh, all right, well then let's go on to other business now that we've caught up.
yeah.
And you got to talk about your toys here. So I got some comics to talk about here, and let's see. I've only got one Marvel, and then the rest are indie stuff here.
Oh, so
What
no Batmans.
There were some Batman stuff this week, releases this week, but yeah, I mean, there was some good stuff, but nothing like huge I really needed to talk about. So I got a
Okay.
feeling though, the upcoming issue, I think 15 for Absolute Batman, we finally get to see the Joker in his true form in the Absolute Universe, and I've seen pictures of it, and it's terrifying.
Okay. Okay.
He's not the clown prince of crime. It's more like, maybe he's a child of Cthulhu or something. I don't know. It's yeah. Basically, they turned
All right.
Mister Freeze basically into the Thing, and he was pretty weird and terrifying as well. But yeah, Joker says, "Hold my beer." So we'll
Right.
see.
Right.
All right. Well, our only Marvel pick here is this is another cool Alien crossover here: Alien versus
Ah!
Captain America. This takes place in the 1940s. Apparently, Hitler and company and the Red Skull are looking for a super weapon that is, basically somewhere in the Himalayas. So basically, your Marvel lore says, oh, that means the Inhumans. They're looking for something of theirs because normally on Earth, that's where kind of the Inhumans would hide out. Is in somewhere in the Himalayas, have their kingdom.
Right.
They
Right.
find they apparently find an old section where an abandoned kingdom was. And apparently, there was one chamber they were supposed to go to with a great weapon, but instead they find another chamber. And in this other chamber, it was a containment chamber because something got into the kingdom and run roughshod throughout the entire kingdom, killing out everybody. Want to guess what that was?
Right.
So Red Skull and his actually at this point, Baron Zemo was sent by Red Skull with a team of Hydra people to go check out this encampment. They do, and Baron Zemo's the only one who barely gets out with his life because everybody else is basically getting attacked by face huggers. Because the Inhumans contain hundreds of eggs in this area. And so now they're getting out and they're
Holy.
basically like Hydra is using these things to infect, basically doing experimentations, launching them like into entire villages, wiping them out. So, yeah. So
Holy
right now you
shit.
got
Yeah.
Captain America. Captain America with a little bit of help from Nick Fury and or not Easy Company and the Howling Commandos. I'm mixing my militaries here. Yeah, Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos here. Not Easy Company. That's Sergeant Rock.
Right. Right. Right.
Anyway, fighting aliens. Spoiler alert, though, they do later on in the series. I've seen a solicitation for issue number 3. We do get some help from an extraterrestrial familiar person. So. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a predator. It's not a predator. It's another captain of the Marvel Universe.
Y'all got more of them. Y'all got more of
Yep.
them. All right. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
You know I
Yep.
want one. You know
I
I
got
want
you.
one.
I got you. I got you, brother. I got you, brother.
Was that the one that
It's
you
fun.
thought that I was gonna be baited for?
No, I kind of figured you might be on that one, but there's the one I'm talking about that I know I think you're going to dig is coming up.
Okay.
Well, actually, not right now, but it's coming up pretty soon.
Okay.
But here's another cool one here from Bad Idea. I talked about issue number 1. Issue 2 did not disappoint. This is Planet Death. This basically feels like it should be a 2000 AD or like a heavy metal kind of spinoff here. It's just some hardcore science fiction, bloody, like against impossible odds. There's no way this dude's going to complete the mission and go home. It's going to end badly, but damn, aren't we enjoying the ride? Robert Vivendi and I can't remember, Mark Kolstadt, I think, are the writers on this. Of course, Robert Vivendi is a well-known Green Lantern writer. I love his stuff. But the interior and the cover art is awesome in this series. So, yeah, this is probably one of Bad Idea's finest books they have out right now. Next up here,
before you go on, like, I don't know if I'm lagging out a little bit or not. I hope my internet is not doing the weird shit that it was.
No, you're good.
Okay, no, but yeah, I was getting some weird lag from time to time, but
okay. Yeah, you seem fine to me, so.
Okay, all right.
Yep. All right. Carrying on. Issue 8 of Rook Exodus. Again, this is a series that does not quit. We are 8 issues in. They're all awesome. Great sci-fi series here. Basically, we're talking, Exodus was a planet that basically we tried to terraform. We did terraform it. Humans were on there for a few years. Things seemed to be going well. And then basically, as things with humans usually go, they go pear-shaped. We started fighting over stupid shit. And then the planet started deteriorating because we were kind of mining it too quickly for resources. And so, yeah, the only people who are left essentially are the animal wardens who are trying to save the planet, save the animals who are still on there. But of course, you got some wardens who are bad, some who are used to be good, but maybe events have turned them insane or feral even. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now here. We're basically trying to get the planet to stop from exploding. And we have to essentially kind of turn a world engine. The one guy who knows how to turn that on, well, he's gone rather native because he's been hanging out with the dogs too long. So he kind of thinks of himself as a dog and he's not reacting as a normal human should. And then you got the Spider Queen on top of this. I mean, there's all kinds of bad shit going on right now. So, but it is such a great sci-fi series. Jeff Johns is the writer. David Finch does the art. Need I say more?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is definitely one you're going to be looking forward to. Issue 13 of G.I. Joe, Part 1 of the Dreadnought War. Yeah!
When we finally find out that the Baroness is Zartan.
Baroness or Zartan do not appear in this issue. Once again, Zartan was teased in the Cobra Commander miniseries, but we never saw him. Still yet, we have not seen him. We don't know who's really in charge of the Dreadnoks. Now, we have seen Torch Ripper Buzzer, Xandar Serrana, Road Pig, a lot of the other well-known Dreadnoks. But yeah, there's one in particular who's missing. And as Seth and I have talked about this before, Seth is convinced that the Baroness, who is apparently, though she does bad things sometimes, she's good and she's on the G.I. Joe team. But Seth says that it's really Zartan posing as the Baroness for whatever reason. That's not really her.
To infiltrate the G.I. Joe team. That's the reason.
To infiltrate a brand new team that they didn't even know existed. Okay, sure.
That's how good Zartan is.
But if Seth is correct about this, then you will get the biggest mea culpa that I can provide. But I am not convinced. I am actually convinced that he is insane. And there you go.
See, I wouldn't even be surprised if, now follow me, if when Zartan does, quote unquote, get, quote unquote, revealed, quote unquote, that it may initially appear to even be someone else. However, it will still be a double triple cross and eventually still be revealed that Zartan is the Baroness. So
Double Triple Cross. Wasn't that a 90s Van Damme movie with Dennis Rodman in it?
Double triple cross.
By the way, thank you very much for letting me borrow your copy of Hard Target.
Oh, you're welcome.
I forgot how much I enjoyed that movie.
Dude, that movie is so much fun, isn't it? It's
It
yes,
really is, yeah.
it's just batshit insanity
But
for
on
a
the other
hundred
hand,
and
it's kind of one of Van Damme's most authentic roles because he's playing a Cajun, so he can
yeah,
he can keep the French accent and then use Cajun slang. So it's like,
yes.
and he's got that gorgeous Kentucky waterfall, or actually
Oh yeah,
that Louisiana waterfall. I'm sorry, Louisiana
right.
waterfall. So,
But
oh
that movie just has such like the Hong Kong aesthetics in there, like where it's like plot really doesn't necessarily matter. The story's the most dangerous game, right?
yes,
Like
yeah,
plot's not the important part. We go from cool scene to cool scene to cool scene to cool scene. And
hmm
it's like, yeah, and that's the mindset you got to go into Hard Target with. Lance Hendrickson gets set on fire and no sells it.
yeah.
He no sells it. Yeah, that like,
Arnold Vosloo's a great henchman, bad
oh
guy.
yeah,
The third act when Wilfred Brimley's the
Wilford,
crazy Cajun uncle.
yeah, comes
Yes,
out and just starts blowing shit up, talking gibberish. Yes,
love it.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Hard Target was one of the best movies ever made. I don't care what
absolutely.
anybody says.
No, yeah, yeah. Screw a bunch of Seagal, man. It was all about Van
Yeah,
Damme
hold on. I'm
today.
gonna actually see. Let's see in the IMDb top 10 what we can knock out to put in room for
hmm
uh for Hard Target here.
Yeah,
Uh
we may need to do a Van Damme appreciation night here.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
and Martin's in the house. What's up,
What
Martin?
Martin?
So weird legs. Are you getting old, Seth? Next up, wheelchair.
Oh jeez.
No, for me, next up, robot legs, man. I've fully said, like, if you could dump my consciousness and take my entire personality and who I am into a robot body, like kind of cyborg Terminator sort of thing like that, I'll take it.
Oh man, okay. All right. I got an issue here, dude.
Uh oh.
So I've got 3 movies that I could remove from the IMDb top 10 to
Mm.
put in place of to put Hard Target into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the 3 movies are 12 Angry Men, The Godfather, and The Godfather 2.
Mm.
The others can stay. One of those movies has to go.
Shit.
I don't care for The Godfather, and The Godfather Part 2 is a snooze fest too. So
Now,
I'd
see,
be
I enjoy the Godfather films. Two is the better. I mean, because you got kind of the nice kind of arcing flashback story, and then there's more action and stuff that kind of happens. More things that happen. So I guess we could take off the original Godfather and put in Hard Target because I don't want to take off 12 Angry Men.
okay. Well, that makes Hard Target the second greatest movie of all time, according to IMDb.
Well, there we
If you
go.
remove The Godfather, they need to do a reprint cover and put that
There we
quote
go.
on the back of it. The second greatest
Take
film.
out the Godfather. Insert Hard Target. Hey, what's up, Steve?
Steve. Wait, which one of us is the sexy
Spe-
beast? There's only yeah, you didn't pluralize it. You only you're talking to one of us, Steve.
It's just the informal Usted sexy beast.
I
So yeah,
know.
that's what it is.
I'm just kidding, Steve. You know I love you. I just got to bust your balls, brother.
All right. So here, my last comic one, and this is the one I think you're going to pop over here.
Okay,
So,
okay.
if you're not familiar with the series Ice Cream Man over at Image Comics, it's a horror anthology, but it's kind of a very more of a cerebral, existential kind of stuff. Like they actually did an issue where they kind of did their own version of Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Ice Cream Man is basically the titular character and your host, and sometimes he'll get involved in the stories as well. But basically, he is essentially a kind of a different version of Anansi, the spider god, which is basically a trickster god. So he basically just kind of screws with people, loves doing stuff here. So this is Ice Cream Man, the Mortal Coil Shuffle. This is a 55-page comic book told on a deck of cards.
What?
Yes. So it basically you go through here, and it's basically the story of essentially a husband and wife having some trouble splitting up, and so they end up splitting up, getting divorced, and then bad things kind of start going downhill for basically the two of them, and also their teenage son. But
Yes, I want that.
yeah, but you got basically the thing is, and I recommend when you read this to read it as you're holding a deck of cards, and then basically reveal each card one by one. Basically, when you take them out of the pack, they are numbered 1 to 55, so you read them in order, and it tells you there's some warnings on here. Read this in order. Don't shuffle this shit up here.
Okay.
And also a reminder: the deck is stacked. But there are homages in this card deck here to Magic the Gathering, to Uno, Blackjack, Cards Against Humanity. But then there's also other types of cards in here. But everything tells the story. It's the most creative thing I've ever seen in a comic book ever. I've known these things were coming out for a while, so I've been kind of anticipating it. And Ice Cream Man's kind of one of those fun books that you can pick up any issue you want. It doesn't matter because they're not necessarily, they're not necessarily there. But yeah, but $10 for a 55 issue comic book told on a deck of cards.
Yes, hell yes, I want that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured you would. So I got one held back for you at the
Okay,
shop.
thank you. Jeez, oh man, that is awesome.
I know, it's just like that is just so fucking cool. I've just never in all my years of comics and gimmickry, never has anyone ever done that before.
Right. Now this might sound like a weird question though, and this might be getting into Weird House of Leaves kind of shit. Can you shuffle the cards and still make it a story, or is it just going to be all jumbled all to shit?
Well, the instructions on the card, and I will read them. A helpful guide to reading this comic book. That's right, this might look like a deck of cards, but it is in fact a comic book. It is a story to be read. It is not a game to be played. To correctly experience the story, read the cards in order, starting from card 1, ending with card 55. Each cards are packaged in sequence and are also numbered for your convenience. Do not shuffle the cards. Doing so is tantamount to ripping the pages from a book and then taping them together all jumbled up and out of whack. Please do enjoy this 55. Please do enjoy this 55-page comic book presented as playing cards. Thank you for reading. And of course, there's a little message right as you pull up the lip here that basically says, "There's still time. Don't open this box."
Wow.
But yeah, it's like that is just so creative. So like, yeah, $10 for a deck of cards that tells a story.
That's pretty cool, except for maybe like that little bit of condescension at the end there about ripping the pages of the book out and shuffling them around. It's like, okay, I mean, I get it, but that's a little harsh, man. Jeez.
Well, but the kind of thing is though, it's kind of like it still makes one. It still kind of makes one's like, can you shuffle the cards around? Maybe I don't know. But there are a couple of fun gimmicks in the story that are like, oh, this is it uses the medium well. Like I said, it's an Ice Cream Man story, so it's not going to end well for anybody. I'll spoil that part at least. But yeah, it's really cool. I would love to see something like this. Yeah, I would love to see something like this again. But yeah, so Martin says that he always preferred Scorsese's mafia movies. Basically, they were more epic, or less epic, but more realistic. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If you're gonna make me watch a mob, I don't like mafia movies anyway, like organized crime stuff. Like Italian mob stuff bores the shit out of me. So
now, see, I like mob movies, but I've never seen an episode of Sopranos.
Yeah, so. I watched I sat through 2 seasons of Sopranos and I couldn't do it anymore. Like,
but yeah, you were talking like Mean Streets, Goodfellas, Casino, yeah.
Definitely. Now I can usually do a Scorsese mob movie about once, and they're not bad. I just don't want to go back to them.
Yeah. Now, of course, my first apartment, I had some roommates, and basically there were 3 videotapes that were constantly watched, like on loop, and it was Clerks, Empire Strikes Back, and Goodfellas. So I've probably seen Goodfellas well over 100 times.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
See, I remember I had a tape that had 3 movies on it because I had this was like when you could daisy chain VCRs to each
Oh yeah,
other.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and so like you'd borrow tapes from your friends and shit, or like whatever you'd rent. So I had Clerks, Mallrats, and Empire Records on one VHS. And like
nice.
that was my sick day movie. Like if I had to stay home from school or something sick, like I would just play that and like pass out and just wake up
There
at
you
random points of like any of the 3 movies.
go.
And then at the end of the tape it would rewind and start over again and like yeah.
Yeah,
That
apparently.
was how he handled but or that was how he handled it back in the day when you fell asleep with the TV on. The
Yeah.
VCR just rewound and played the damn tape again. They didn't
hmm
stop and ask us, "Were you still there? Are you still there?"
Yeah. They just kept going.
Yeah.
uh,
Insane.
Speaking of Kevin Smith stuff, I think we're finally going to get to see a Blu-ray release for Dogma here in the near future.
Yeah, I saw that was finally out of whatever rights issues are going on. Like they bought it or Weinstein sold it or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, we're supposed to be getting a really nice Blu-ray of it. So
Yep. So I'm very happy to see that. There's some Smith movies that I don't necessarily care for, but definitely the early stuff. That's one there. So
yeah, Dogma's one. Like I don't necessarily like. I'm happy that it's out there now, right? And people can have
yeah.
it. But like, I don't necessarily feel the need to get a giant edition of Dogma. You
No,
know,
I mean
like
I'll get like a basic Blu-ray of that, but it just
yeah.
I'm with you. I mean, it's like it's not one of my top 3 Smith movies, but I still enjoy it. So
Yeah. That one for me, it's like if it comes back on like a digital platform, like I might pay $5 for it.
yeah, there
You
you go.
know,
Yeah.
like yeah, because I'll do that sometimes. It's like because renting a movie on there's like $4 anyway.
hmm
So like if I'm gonna rent it, why not just buy it? You know, if
Yeah.
for $1 more. But
That's a good point there. And Steve said he did pluralize it, but Siri hates his accent. So there you
oh,
go.
sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to
There you
bust
go.
your balls. And I need sorry.
Yeah, we bust Steve's balls too much.
No,
Poor Steve. We love Steve
we
though.
love you, Steve. Yeah, you are the man though, for real, dude.
Yeah. And Brad says that his kind of crime movies are Taxi Driver and Scarface. I tell you what, if you want a good 2 good crime movies, I would recommend to you because you're a younger viewer. You may not have seen these yet. 90s era movie Heat with De
Oh,
Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer, and a shitload of other people.
hmm
Uh, and also another Michael Mann 80s classic that doesn't get the due it should, but is a great 80s crime movie, To Live and Die in L.A.
I need to see that. That's one that like I keep hearing pop up, and it has not been on my
He
radar, but I need to check that
basically
out.
Michael Mann did 2 movies in a row with William Peterson. He did Manhunter, which basically was an adaptation of Red Dragon. So
Yeah, I
our
love
first,
Manhunter. I have Manhunter.
Manhunter's great. And then his follow up to Manhunter was To Live and Die in L.A. So
Okay.
where basically once again Peterson's playing a cop, but he's a very different cop than the one
Right,
he played
right.
in Manhunter. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, this is basically think we're dealing with drugs and money laundering and counterfeiting as well, because Willem Dafoe, a young Willem Dafoe, was in this movie playing like a master counterfeiter. So
okay.
that's sort of a big thing there. But yeah, William Peterson's character in To Live and Die in L.A. is not, shall we say, a fine upholder of the law, despite the fact that he is an upholder of the law. So
Right, right.
yeah. Let's see. Steve says the big anti-religion person that I am. Dogma is definitely in his top 3 Smith movies. Yeah, yeah. Of course, that caused a lot of stink when it first came out too.
Yeah,
Lots
I
of
loved it.
protests. Yep.
I love
Go
that
ahead.
Kevin Smith protested his own movie.
Yep.
That was one of my favorite bits out of the whole thing. And like he's got a great story on one of the Evening with Kevin Smith DVDs where he
Yeah.
talks about like going to protest his own movie and what he puts on his sign that like yeah, it's probably a little too vulgar. Yeah, I'll let that's his story for go find it on the DVD, but it was hilarious. But yeah.
Yeah. Yes, yes. You can probably find this. You can probably find the clips on YouTube as well. But yeah, Smith's
Oh yeah.
talked about it before, where basically when Dogma was released, and you would have all these religious groups who hadn't seen the film at all, but basically because it's a religious movie, they're going to protest and say it's bad for you, sort of thing like
Yeah.
that. And so they had no idea what he looked like or whatever else, and so he would literally make his own signs and join these people and protest his own movie. And then even there's one point where there was like a news team, and they were interviewing people, and he got interviewed.
Yeah. Yeah, you got interviewed, gave a fake name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and still got on TV. It was
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Glorious.
might be a special feature on the disc too. I'm wanting to
Yeah,
say that.
you're probably right. It might
Yeah.
be. Well, a couple other movies. This is one is actually a fairly recent release here that I'd like to talk about briefly. Even though we're out of spooky season, I definitely had this one came in towards the end of spooky season. But if you're a fan of the Hell House LLC franchise here, this is their newest offering, Lineage. But it's different than the others because the rest of the Hell House LLC series are found footage films dealing with basically starting off with a group of people who do like uh, intensive haunted houses, and they go to like the different areas and set them up or whatever else. And so they picked this abandoned hotel to do it, and apparently the hotel was basically a group of cultists who were inhabited the place for a while. I think if decades prior, and essentially opened up a gateway to hell. So basically things ensue from there, and the thing I enjoy about the whole franchise, I'm normally not a found footage fan, but what I enjoy about the whole franchise is their building of mythology throughout the entire series. There's little things that keep kind of coming back, either characters or like there's this haunting melody that apparently is part of the key that opens the gate to hell, sort of thing like that, that's played throughout. And characters returning here and there or references prior to other movies. It's got a really well built mythology around it to the point now where we get to Lineage, which is instead of a found footage film, it's a theatrical film. And it's their first of their kind there. And again, we are dealing with some characters from previous films who are dealing with still the hauntings of the Abaddon. And then, of course, we get a little more into the other films. You kind of find out the evil spreads out a little bit more and has different origins aside from just the Abaddon Hotel. There's a manor called the Carmichael Manor where a family lived and bad things happened to them. But a lot of what happens there also affected the events of the Abaddon. So it kind of just keeps building and building. Obviously, this is not the last of them because this one kind of leaves you on a bit of a cliffhanger. So we're definitely going to be getting another one after this. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Good pacing, good creepy stuff. But if you haven't seen any of the Hell House movies prior to this one, you definitely need to go back because you will be lost because this is late in the series here. So, but yeah, if you haven't checked this one out, it had a brief theatrical run earlier this year and kind of like a limited run, and then finally hit Shudder last week. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I said you got let's see, 3 Hell House movies, and then you have Hell House Origins, the Carmichael Manor, which is the 4th one, and this is basically the 5th film. But yeah, definitely worth checking out for like some good spooky stuff. And like I said, just well crafted, despite being a found footage film, whatever your feelings are about that genre, these are well done.
Yeah, I can do a found footage every once in a while. I do dig that genre when it's done well. So I might check it out.
There are some that are definitely better than others. On the opposite side of the spectrum, one I will warn people from seeing that is probably one of the worst found footage films I've ever seen is a little ditty called Found Footage 3D. Also on Shudder, this is a found footage movie that basically is people are doing a spooky movie in a found footage style, and then they go to an old house and they essentially find themselves in their own film because the place that they're filming in actually has some sort of entity there and is terrorizing and killing people, whatever else. Part of the cast includes the star/producer of the film, who is a douchebag of the highest order. Reminds me of some people I used to work with in the media business that basically are kind of they lack creativity, but they are spontaneous and change things at the last minute to give the auspice that they are creative people.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of guy, the kind of person that people who plan and organize things and construct whatever else when it comes to making a film that you need to do this with. And then you got this asshat who changes shit at the last minute. You want to kill this guy and see him die horribly. Thankfully, he does.
Right.
But where the 3D part comes in is literally on the day they're going to leave to shoot at the location, he shows up with his new camera and says, "Oh, look, it's a 3D camera. We're going to shoot the movie in 3D." The director of the film asked the obvious question that the rest of the audience asked: why the hell would you shoot a found footage movie in 3D? This is supposed to be like a family film, or basically found footage movies are documents of something. No one's going to shoot that in 3D.
Right. Yeah. That's part of the thing of the name of it, found footage.
90% of this movie is people arguing and fighting over stupid shit, and occasionally something sort of spooky happens. The latest part of the third act that you could possibly get into, probably like the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, is when everything happens. Even then, like, there's a very satisfying kill, like I said, of said asshole who does die horribly. That's the most satisfying kill. The rest of the kills aren't. The effects are horrible. And when they finally show the entity, it's basically the same kind of effects that Fantastic Four 2 Rise of the Silver Surfer used to depict the Galactus as a giant black fart cloud. So this is the entity we've been teasing the whole movie with, is a big old black fart cloud that we can barely see because it's nighttime and we're outdoors in the fucking woods. They didn't think about that. So, at all costs, unless you really want to see a bad movie, please avoid found footage 3D. Oh, and by the way, when you watch the movie at Shudder, it's not in 3D. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm good. I've got too many other movies to watch before I'll even consider possibly.
I was going down a rabbit hole. I found some cool stuff. And yeah, I saw that one. I'm like, this looks interesting. I don't know. I've never even heard of this one before. And there's a reason why you never heard of it. It's god awful. As a more famous man than myself once said, I've seen better film on teeth.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Now, one movie that is a modern day classic that you and I are very much looking forward to a proper release for. We've waited a very, very long time for this, but coming December 5th, exclusively to theaters, Kill Bill, the whole bloody
affair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, oh man.
This is basically what Kill Bill should have been if Quentin Tarantino had his way. We would have been basically in theaters for 4 hours plus, which is what this movie is.
Well, it's got a 15-minute intermission.
It does. And basically, as epic long-form films should have, because that's what they did back in the day for things like, the Ten Commandments and Ben-Hur and, it's a mad, mad, mad world. The big tentpole epic kind of movies. Lawrence of Arabia did that shit too. Where there's an intermission. Go pee, go get some popcorn,
Yeah. Except in some intermissions are only 10 minutes and they don't give you a chance to do anything.
That's very true, yeah. But 15's perfect. But yes, this basically is both halves of Kill Bill edited together. There is footage that you haven't seen unless you watch some of the supplementary stuff on the DVDs. There's an anime sequence that was supposed to be included in the film that was not.
It's a longer anime sequence. There was an anime sequence in the film, in the first one. But
you're right. Yes,
but this one I think runs like, from what I can't remember if it runs a total of 7 minutes or 7 minutes longer than the original.
Okay.
But it's a good chunk of animation in there, and
And then also, basically, since they aren't chopping the movies in two, like we originally got, the transition basically to get from part one to part two is different. Mm-hmm. So basically, kind of like, I don't think, basically kind of the way the part one ends is going to be a little different than what we've seen prior to. So yeah, there's basically a lot of footage that we haven't seen that essentially makes this one movie altogether, also including the longer, the anime scene from Lucy Liu's character. I know what her origin. Yeah. So, but yeah, exclusively
and the Crazy 88 fight would be in color too.
Oh yes. Yeah, they won't turn to black and white either. Yes, that's also a big point. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
there have been bootlegs of this that are, well, fan edits.
Hmm.
If you find a disc online claiming to be Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, it is a fan edit of what people approximate it to be.
Yes.
Which is like a couple of edits to make it one whole movie. And some people are down with that, and like it does have the color Japanese 88 or crazy 88 fight from the Japanese laser disc where it didn't have to
Hmm.
be uncensored. So it's
Yeah,
like
they didn't
that
have to
is a
edit it. Yeah.
significant difference. But yeah, it's I mean, bottom line is Tarantino wouldn't have been cool with releasing it in the States if he wasn't cool with it being seen as it was,
Yeah.
in the two pieces. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so can be in theaters exclusively December 5th, and it basically, if it's available, depending on where you are, what sort of movie theater you have, there are going to be prints that will be in 70 millimeter.
Oh gosh, I would love to see this thing in 70 millimeter.
Basically, we essentially, I know one place in particular that we could see it in 70 millimeter, but we'd have to go to LA and go to the New Beverly Theater because
Oh well,
that's the theater that Quentin owns and shows old movies on, and they have a 70 millimeter camera on there. So I know for a fact we can see it there.
right, yeah, okay, yeah, but no, it's like I would have loved to gone to the one of the Hateful Eight 70 millimeters. Like I've never seen a 70 millimeter movie, and I would love to see
I've
a
seen
movie.
one,
What was that?
Tron.
Oh wow,
Yep, saw it. So
wow,
basically, it wasn't in '82. It was later on. But somebody, I forgot how it happened, but somebody had a 70 millimeter print and like donated it for a weekend to showcase Louisville because they had the one screen in House One that was basically wide enough for a 70 millimeter movie. And yeah, for a weekend they showed Tron on 70 millimeter.
wow.
So
That is,
that yeah. So you haven't seen a movie until you've seen it in a 70 millimeter. It's on a screen big enough because it's kind of the closest approximation would be IMAX.
yeah, and see the thing about IMAX too that kills me is like most of the screens that you go to for like theater experiences, like they're technically not true
Oh
IMAX
no, no.
screens. Yeah, it's like when you buy like an HD TV and you've got like OLED, but then you've
Hmm.
got like quantum or QLED or whatever that's
Yeah,
not quite OLED, but like a step down, but like they try and sell it to you the same way. That's like 90% of those or IMAX screens in theaters, and so I always kind of feel a little ripped off with it. Like, but some of them are pretty good though. I can't say that
yeah,
about all of them. Some of them are legit.
that's
And
true. Yeah,
dude, you know who has a bitchin' theater setup that
who's
would
that?
surprise you is the Louisville Science Center. Like they
That
have
that
a
that doesn't surprise me because they actually have two IMAX theaters, like real. They have the real. I think
or
they're the only theater in town that has real IMAX theaters, aren't they?
excuse me, I'm a moron. I didn't mean to say the Science Center. I meant to say the Speed Museum.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they got the
Yeah.
little because they got like the little mini theater, and they show like a bunch of old shit on there. Because
Yeah, that it's
because what was Joe and his wife went and saw something really cool there one time, and then like they said another time they're going to be showing Seven Samurai, and
yeah, see Daniel and I went to see Seven Samurai and
that's what. Well, yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and that was like and it was the 4K Seven Samurai.
Hmm.
And but that theater that like they had a little thing that was telling about it. That theater is capable of 35 millimeter projection, and it's got like state of the art sound. Like it's a well calibrated and maintained theater.
Yeah.
It is a theater for connoisseurs as opposed to a theater for people that want to go see a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Basically.
the theater you go to get the best possible experience to see. Yeah,
Hmm.
they know what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah, the Speed Museum in Louisville definitely caters to the cinephiles, and basically because of the quality of the presentation and also the quality of the films that they
Yeah.
make for it as well. So yeah, basically, if you ever get a chance to check out their schedule of what they got on there, you could probably see
Oh
some
yeah.
great old movies that you've never seen on the big screen before. Like I said, I mean, we're not talking like a teeny tiny theater, but it's a very intimate theater for a movie theater.
Yeah,
Um,
it's maybe 150 people, if
yeah,
that.
Yeah, it's very. It's
Yeah.
it's nice and cozy, and
Yeah.
it's a
It's
love.
not the theater that you're getting popcorn
Yeah,
and peanuts in. Yeah, either. You might get a bottle of water,
yeah,
maybe. And
yeah.
yeah, there's no like you and yeah, you are expected to sit down and watch the movie. It is a wonderful
Hmm.
experience if you are into
Yeah.
that kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the kind of theater for grown ass cinephiles there. Yep.
Yep,
100%.
absolutely.
All right. Well, another topic of discussion here. Of course, you and I were talking about this one on Wednesday when we were watching Dynamite. I was convinced you really need to check this series out. I think it's awesome. We're talking about the series currently running on HBO Max, Welcome to Derry, which is basically a prequel series for It that covers a lot of the other tragedies in the book It that basically were part of the 27-year cycles that essentially resulted in Pennywise either kind of being awakened or, basically being awakened enough where a tragedy happens and basically he's able to collect some souls. So, if you're familiar with the book, of course, we've got tragedies basically in 1908, which is the bread factory, I believe, where there was
Oh, fuck. There's gonna be more of these.
there's 3 seasons,
Oh,
3 seasons of it. There's a 3 season plan, but they're going back. We're starting with 1962. That's basically the one that's closest to the losers, where basically the bad thing that happens there is the fire at the Black Spot, which is a popular African American hangout, but basically is the target of a lot of racial violence and whatever else. And basically, so that's the big tentpole tragedy of this season. Season 2, taking us to 1935. That is the Bradley Gang Massacre. So you got basically a group of bank robbers, are essentially trying to rob the bank there in Derry, and essentially what results in the townspeople themselves gun down the gang in the streets in a very bloody massacre. And then last but not least, like I said, 1908. That is the Kitchener Iron Works explosion. That's what it is. One of the bread factories. The Kitchener Iron Works explosion. So basically, a factory that employed most people in town, and they were hosting a Easter egg hunt for children. And basically, the explosion happens and kills 88 children amongst many other adults as well. But yeah, this is basically one of the earliest disasters in Derry that were chronicled. That basically all kind of coincided around a lot of weird events. So basically, that was the main thing that happens. And then, of course, like I said, Pennywise, bad shit, whatever else. So 2 episodes in, I'm into this. I'm enjoying the series because most of the characters that we're seeing in the series, they're not anywhere in the book. So all bets are off. You can do whatever you want with these people, even kill them off, which if you've seen episode 1, we have a high body count. Now, there are some familiar characters in this basically in this story, in this series, that are other people that are involved in The Shining. Namely, episode 2, we meet Dick Halloran, basically in his army days, which that is also very briefly mentioned in the book. Like, he's name dropped in the book when they're talking about shit. And so so you get a lot of that stuff there. So basically, this is really all kind of supplementary stuff that was kind of glossed over or briefly discussed in the book. That is kind of more history of Derry and their bad stuff. Now, your reaction, on the other hand, you've watched at least the first episode, I take it?
I've watched both. I was going to I okay, so I watched the first episode and it didn't hook me until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ending it was like, well, okay, that was interesting enough to keep me going up until the next episode. And the ending of the second episode, like, I'm done. I'm so done. Um uh, okay. I understand that it's a series that's based on the interludes, right? Like, I
Yeah.
get that. Like, which to me would make a killer anthology series in a much more like episodic fashion than what I believe is turning into a Stephen King fan fiction trying to give him a weird Avengers team. Uh and
Okay.
it is so, but the problems that I have here, And this is like I also had a huge problem with the special effects, but we'll get into a little bit of that later.
Okay.
Um, the plot itself, like I don't understand, or I think they misunderstood Derry itself,
Mm-hmm.
because so Pennywise, like in like Stephen King lore, right? Like Pennywise is this like almost eldritch entity
Yeah.
that like basically created Derry to be this farm that
Mm-hmm.
it could cultivate and have like it could have like these specific people, these children that it would feed off of their fears and then go dormant for a while, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Uh, yeah. So and the whole thing is like it's a small town that operates as a small town, like
Mm.
right, like it's supposed to be relatively nondescript, like things like weird stuff happens there, but like the people in Derry in this series are so fucking hateful, every single one of them, and I don't understand like that. I think that they're trying to say that the town is making them like that,
Sure. Yeah.
and yeah, but that's not really how I understood Pennywise to work, because Pennywise would keep the town going because it was trying to like it would cultivate so like yeah, they're like Pennywise had like an economic plan for things, right? Like he would like he would have a slum part of town, and like like he was like a weird supernatural mayor with
Yeah.
like keeping like harvesting a certain section of people over here while
Mm-hmm.
keeping like some people over here to make things still operate and work and go unchallenged and unseen, because that's how Derry lasts from 1908 to friggin whenever what was it what when it did
Go the 1990s when you get the grown-up losers. Yeah. So
right, yeah,
yeah.
big, yeah, and we're getting into spoiler territory with it. The ultimate goal, what is revealed by the end of the second episode, where you have military involvement, and
Mm-hmm.
like okay, I'm just gonna, yeah, the military trying to capture and weapon Pennywise. What the fuck? Like,
Well, you know it's going to end poorly because none of this stuff happens, and
well,
the only person we recognize so far is Dick, and of course, he's got other bad things that's going to happen later on to him. When he basically
right.
gets older and starts working at the Overlook. But so basically, like, yeah, it's kind of there's this bigger plot the army's trying to do this, but it's going to end badly. You
Yeah,
know,
well, it's gonna end badly because it has to end badly because we know they can't capture Pennywise,
yeah,
right? Like the show, like number one, like the premise of the show, like there's really no payoff like that I can see other than just like watch a bunch of horrible shit happen to a
yeah,
bunch of people, and so the stakes to me are kind of low on that end, um because they like we know that Pennywise ultimately gets defeated because we've already seen it,
right.
and so like these are just kind of redundant, like the characters themselves. Like I don't think the acting's very good outside of James Remar and the guy playing Hanlon.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good, but everyone else is awful. Like I think all the kids are kind of bad.
Yeah,
The
none of the kids have grabbed me just yet. Now,
Yeah,
the a couple of the kids, the two boys that were friends in the first episode, I liked them, and then they didn't make it out of the first episode. So,
yeah, and it was and that was supposed to. And did you get that the one redheaded kid, the Jewish kid, that was Stanley's little brother, and he was one of the losers.
yep,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Or he was like he was one of the losers in the yeah.
yeah, Stanley, yeah. So,
Yeah. I can't
yeah,
remember.
Stanley, yeah,
I don't
Stanley
remember him
was.
losing a little brother though in the book.
They may not even talked about it, but
Uh,
or he wasn't he was at least a relative or something like that. But yeah,
yeah, maybe
so
it's been a while since I read the book, so I can't swear to all the details of it. Well, I
now,
know
of
for a
course,
fact that the military never shows up and tries to weapon fucking Pennywise. I know that for a goddamn fact.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
mean, like
that's
we know, like, I think there was a mention like of Dick Halloran's army service, and then I would assume that the Hanlon character, that's got to be Mike Hanlon's grandfather or father or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think father probably.
Right, yeah. They're definitely connected. Holleran was he was just a straight name drop in the book. They didn't explain anything about him. It was just he was just
Okay.
rattled off in a series of names.
Yeah,
And it was just one of
it's
those.
been a long time since I've read it. So yeah. So okay. So yeah, but I knew he was
Yeah.
name dropped in the book, but I didn't know any real. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember
he
where it
was
was
not a
related to.
character like he didn't have a walk-on role or anything. It was just
Mhm.
one of those like Stephen King connections kind of deal.
Right.
And it's and I don't necessarily have this problem like with the a Stephen King like adaptation, right? Like
Hmm.
because I love Stephen King stories, but like when they veer off into absurdity and start making up their own shit, like Stephen King's already walking a delicate balance of believability in the first place to me, right? Because
Hmm.
like to me, Stephen King is American Gothic. Like
Okay.
it's that weird, creepy shit around the corner. Like
Hmm.
Stephen King is like that weird, like when I think of Stephen King, like I can smell like the when I'm reading his words, I can smell the grass in
Sure.
the way that he describes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these adaptations, they feel like really they feel like forced fanfic in a lot of ways to me. I don't want to see what people think. I don't want to see people expand on Stephen King's ideas. I'm fine with seeing people making their adaptation of Stephen King ideas,
All right.
and like trying to, change them into another medium. I'm fine with that. I don't necessarily understand why we needed this series in the first place. I was always kind of apprehensive about it, so maybe I'm even coming into it like from a place of not wanting to like it, but
Well, you kind of said before, and I would certainly agree with this. Um, Stephen King has got a very bad history of TV adaptations
yeah,
because there's only so far you could go on network television with some of the stuff that he's done in his books. The Stand and It were basically two very good examples. Um, Basically, granted, It is the one with Tim Curry playing Pennywise, and John Ritter in the movie is very beloved because basically a lot of people grew up on that one, but is extremely tame.
it's a well-made TV movie.
It is.
And and The Stand is a great TV movie. I
Mm-hmm.
will say that, but that's also saying too, like that's an era where like TV movies were in a different caliber than feature films. Like it was, and not to their detriment. They did the best they could with what they had.
But
And
it was the it was still that kind of like feeling that basically TV was a lesser thing than film.
right,
So basically, you had there was a disparity between film actors and TV actors, and nowadays there's
yeah,
no difference.
right,
So there most time you got TV shows that do better than most films these days. So
yeah,
so the paradigm has flipped. But yeah, definitely you're 100%. And now I appreciated the Shining TV version not because of its quality, because of its accuracy versus
yes,
the Kubrick version. It's not a great adaptation. It's also very extremely tame, but it's also highly accurate to the book. So if you like accuracy,
yeah.
also it's finally streaming on Tubi for free now.
Oh, really? I did not know
Yep,
that. Okay,
yep, it sure is. Yeah, that's
sweet.
on there. Storm of the Century, I think, is on there.
Oh, I like
Or no,
that
no,
one.
no. Or wait, no. Storm of the Century is on Disney, I think. Anyway, there's a lot of TV King stuff that's starting to stream now.
Okay, okay.
So
Some of those are pretty low key, pretty good. Well, I mean, Langoliers is pretty bad. Like, for the special effects at the end of that. But
yeah,
I mean, for TV movies, there some of them like they're fun watches. I think like I can't really call something like Rose Madder good, but like
yeah.
it was. Did you ever watch Kingdom Hospital? It was like that
No, I
13
didn't.
episode Stephen King TV series.
Well, here's the thing, though. That wasn't him. That was him adapting a.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Was it a Swedish series or?
It was a Swedish series by some dude. I can't remember. I want to say Lars von Trier, maybe. but
Mm,
no,
I don't think there's anybody that recognizable. But anyway, but yeah, if you can ever find the original Kingdom Hospital, it's badass.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a box set of the Stephen King version, and it's a curious show, you know, like
Hmm.
it's very weird at times, and it's like, but it's like it's kind of fun to watch Ed Begley Jr. and Andrew McCartney like just chew scenery, you know, and
Yeah.
have fun with bonkers shit. But yeah.
Yeah, the original version is way more bonkers. 'Cause I remember that being a Wild and Woolly staple, and that was recommended to me one time, so I rented it. Of course, I can't remember how many episodes the original series was, but
Yeah.
it was on like one DVD, so I don't remember it being very long. It was
Right.
like
Yeah, yeah, a lot of
like
those European shows aren't. Yeah.
yeah, it was like 6 or 8 episodes or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it packs a wall up in the short period of time it's in there because you can get away with a hell of a lot more overseas than you can in the
Yeah.
states. So
Man, you just said Wild and Woolly though, and I miss that place so
I
much,
know.
man. That was that shit.
for
That
for for,
that
those for those of not from the Louisville area or didn't get to travel to there in its heyday, let me paint a picture for you. It's a video store in a lovely neighborhood in Louisville in the Bardstown Road Highlands area, where basically, granted, they had they did have your big tent pole, the movies everybody else is going to rent. They had a few copies of that stuff, but they also carried foreign movies, independent stuff.
Mhm.
And that was just the tip of the iceberg because then you start getting other weirder genres. You're getting into like sleazo movies. Here's your Russ Meyer section.
Yes.
Here's your Psychomania section.
Yeah.
Here's your Japanese horror. Here's your Hong Kong action set.
Yes.
Stuff like that. And they even had a back room with naughty movies, but it wasn't like your regular porn shit either.
No,
It
they
was
had it
weird
so
porn shit.
yeah, it was super fucking categorized and like, you know, it's like if
Yeah.
you were like, yeah, oh man, that it was Wild and Woolly was just this place. And the thing was like what was so beautiful about it was that like you went in there and they hired cool employees. Like I mean, if you were cool with them, like they would talk movies with you, they would give you recommendations, they would
Mm-hmm.
try and learn who you were if you came back and forth, so to like they could suggest you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of our friends work there. Bart. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever know Wayne Mansfield?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Wayne. Yeah, he's a good buddy. He worked there for a while.
You want to talk about Wayne? So Wayne's a guy who looks like this completely normal dude, like huge, fit, like just muscular guy, big old, just fit guy, but like the biggest metalhead movie geek you're ever gonna
Oh
see.
yeah.
But he's like a geek in disguise.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, but if a Wayne recommendation came down my pike, I knew it was gonna be good.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. No, it was great too because it was like yeah, it was just like this dude that's like what you imagine like a pro wrestler would look like. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just standing next to him, walking around in this like weird ass video store.
He made me look small. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah. And George is a tall dude. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll never
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
doing one of the conventions that we were doing with a TV station, and like I turn around and there's Wayne, and I'm like, holy shit! Like we hung out for like an hour, and like he just like he was so like he was geeking out on the Charlie Sheen movie The Wraith. Like
Oh,
that
nice.
was yeah that yeah that and we went and tried to find bootleg DVDs. It was awesome. Wild and Woolly had bootleg DVDs too. That was that
Yes, they
yeah
did. Yes, they
they
did.
were,
Yep.
but they were cool about it. They were telling you that you were renting a. This is a bootleg. This is like what you like. They everything was in this little plastic sleeve, and
Mm-hmm.
like you had like, and it would have this little descriptor of what it was, like the title, the year, like you know what might be interesting about this particular release, like you know why it is. They had like a Region 2 section where
Oh
you
yeah.
can watch. Yeah. Oh man. And some of the stuff that you could like the stuff that you could buy there, they had the weird like indie box sets and Anchor
Mm-hmm.
Bay titles back in the day, and like,
Or they could order weird box sets for you, or
oh
weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
they'd
yeah. Oh
order the
yeah.
bootlegs, and yeah, they were. I'll
Yeah.
never forget too. Do you remember when Blockbuster had that deal with a lot of studios where they could only sell tapes to Blockbuster?
Oh yeah.
And the CEO of Blockbuster was like, if customers find any of our tapes in a store that's not this, call this number, blah, blah, blah. And Wild and
Mm-hmm.
Woolly had the big poster printed out and with the phone number and hung it on the wall. It was like, and nobody ever called because they just went and bought the movies from Blockbuster the day they came out and brought them in. It was, oh man.
And at one point, wasn't the Blockbuster wasn't across the street from Wild Woolly. It was like maybe like 2 blocks down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Blockbuster was very close. And of course, Blockbuster Video died before Wild and Woolly did. So that's also another thing to be mentioned as well.
Wild
Wild
and
and Woolly's
Woolly did not die because of lack of patronage.
No, basically, the owner was kind of done with it. He'd had some health issues, but he started getting into Pilates to help out with the health issues. And it's kind of like, you know what? This is kind of what I want to do. And so now we have Wild and Woolly Pilates. So Todd's still doing very well, teaching people Pilates, helping people out and stuff like that. Still using the Wild and Woolly name and the logo there. You can still talk movies and all kinds of bullshit like that with him. Or if you want to even go even further, talk the Slint Spiderland record that he was on, playing bass. That's a very seminal record people still talk about. So yeah, you can still talk to Todd. He's doing very well. But yeah, like I said, Wild and Woolly still lives very much in our hearts. And we would, if it ever came back in any form, it would be very welcome. Let's put that way.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, because that was true. Talk about movie nerd heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you almost. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, you kind of almost could bring it back. Because you got clubs over in Louisville like Planet of the Tapes, which basically cater to VHS fans, and they do like old movie or theme nights or whatever else. You can actually rent movies from them, or you can basically like donate stuff to them or buy, sell, and trade. Things like that. So it's like they really cater to VHS stuff, and so then they'll have certain movie theme nights. Of course, they host music nights there and stand up comedy and stuff like that too. But if you want to go check out a place, you can basically watch some old VHS stuff or appreciate an older format of stuff there. Planet Tapes is another fun place too. So,
man, did I tell you, like, for the past couple of weeks, Eric's been trying to talk me down out of starting to get into VHS, like, pretty hard, making my own VHS.
No.
Yeah, I found my VCR DVD recorder combo. And so, like, I'm just kind of looking at stuff, and I'm like, I got a bunch of digital stuff that I don't have on anything. Like, I could put it on VHS. And Eric's like, how much does a VHS cost? I'm like, well, I could get like a 10-pack for like $30. Or he's like, or you get a spindle of blank DVDs for like $20, and it's better quality. Yeah, you're right. Like, he's not wrong, but it's just VHS is just more fun,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can, basically that's the thing. Is like there are younger movie fans out, kids in their teens, 20s, even going into the early 30s. There are people who are seeking out VHS tapes. There's actually many tapes out there that are still highly sought after, highly valuable because of their rarity, or they were never released on, DVD or a streaming platform or whatever else. So yeah, and of course, there's a lot of social media people. There's one guy I follow on TikTok that literally he goes and gets like old VHS tapes, like at random shows, flea markets, whatever else. It's literally like somebody taped like 3 episodes of Happy Days and Jaws, and then like a week's worth of Another World or something like that. And that's all in this VHS tape. But then also like there are commercials of the time period and news teases or local spots or whatever else. So it's a nice kind of timepiece. And so whenever he plays these tapes back, you only just see like the commercials and the ads and things like that. You don't see like the actual content was. But yeah, he basically will play. You'll take a VHS, random one that he's got here. It's like, okay, it's this is what's on the label here. Let's pop it in and see what's on there. And so you'll see a lot of retro ads and things like that. So it's really cool.
Yeah. See, I think that would be kind of cool. And it's like part of it for me is like, going back to Welcome to Derry for a little bit, talking about the special effects, like the Demon Baby thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that that thing looked awful. Like, okay.
Yeah, you talking about the opening scene where it was being birthed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's sometimes when CG looks great,
Yeah.
but I realized my problem with a lot of it because I watched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie
Mhm.
over the week, right? Which is actually a really good fucking movie, by the way. If you ever get a
Oh,
chance, yeah,
okay.
surprisingly good. Jim Carrey is like imagine old school slapstick Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, and it's on
Aha.
board. Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna watch the other two. I'm gonna yeah, it's like I'm gonna check them out probably this
All
week.
right.
Yeah, but so I'm watching that, but there's a scene where like Sonic gets knocked out and like he's laying on the ground, right? And like
Mm.
James Marston goes to check on him and he kind of like knocks his head and kind of turns it, right? Like you get Sonic's a CG character, right? But like
Yeah.
Sonic had weight in that scene, like with the way that his move, like it was good. Like he had a weight, like the way he fell and everything. Like there was impact. Like
Sure.
that CG baby didn't have any weight to it. It was just an effect flying around.
Yeah,
Like
that's true. The physics of the because if it's basically slamming into chairs and it's very large and stuff like that in the theater, it should have been like knocking over chairs and stuff like that. Yeah,
right, yeah,
okay, I get that. Yeah.
yeah, that's one problem with it. The now the pickle thing that was or the pickle scene with what's her name in the grocery store.
I thought
That
that
was
was cool.
that effect I will actually give props to. That whole deal didn't look half bad till the weird octopus thing came up, right?
Well, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was where it broke down for me. And yeah, I got to talk about some of the weird pacing issues. So the redheaded kid gets scared. His scare scene happens, right?
Yeah,
But he's in bed at night,
yeah,
and so like then there's a cut, and he's in that little clubhouse hidey hole that they have, right? Like overlooking Derry, and it's daylight, and they're all in like school. Like it's obviously like time has passed, right?
yeah,
But like the kid, like I guess as he's telling the story, it's making him physically ill because he's vomiting the whole time,
yeah,
like as he's telling the story, and like it's like it doesn't make any sense really, like why he would like is the story itself like him reliving it making him so ill that he's vomiting again, like is it like a PTA, like it just it was a weird choice to make, like because obviously he'd had time to process it a little bit, you know. Maybe
yeah.
not even process, but like, why wouldn't the vomiting be immediate if since it was there? I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can get it. Yeah, it's probably even just reliving the story where else is making it, making him sick. Yeah, and we get two different birthing scenes in two different episodes.
yeah, that's a little weird too, because there's a lot. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm not. Ryan Murphy gets a lot of crap for like wanting to kind of make serial killers sexy, and I'm kind of wondering if this is going to have a weird motif about trying to be birthing and shit.
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Or is just, or it's just like some kind of metaphor. What I don't know, but I mean, at least the one thing to look forward into this is that Bill Skarsgård is returning to reprise the role of Pennywise. Of course, we're probably only going to see him maybe like one or two, or like we may see him like if if this is like a 6 episode or 8 episode season, we'll probably see him at the end of 7 and he's all over 8 and that's it.
yeah,
He's not going to be throughout the whole thing, but his presence is obviously felt through it, and we know he's coming.
no.
So it's
Well,
at least
I'm
something.
never going to see him in the show, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm always curious because you did discuss that your apprehension of the film or the series going into it, that like King doesn't have a good history on TV, so I don't know about
Yeah,
this one.
and that's the other thing too. Like a lot of people, like I thought the first It movie was great with the kids. That
Yeah,
version, that was a great horror movie. The one with the adults didn't hit it, didn't was not nearly as good. And so like it was just that was just I would have probably enjoyed it a little bit more had they aped the miniseries method and intercut the two.
yeah,
Because like much the way the book did, I understand that would make a very long movie, and maybe there is a fan edit of that somewhere that could be checked out. But yeah, I cared less about the losers as adults than I did as kids,
yeah.
and that's the reason why the climax of the book is the kids and not necessarily the adults too. Like yeah,
Well, the thing is also I find interesting is like we've had the TV movie adaptation and then we had the 2 part film adaptation. Neither adaptation has ended the way the book has.
right,
And if you don't know what I mean, the town of Derry is destroyed when Pennywise is destroyed. Basically, the town goes with him.
Yeah.
So it basically when the kids kill him, basically Derry turns into a friggin' crater.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, it's like no, and like granted, that would be a lot of CG, a lot of a lot of money possibly, but it's like,
yeah,
why haven't we seen this ending? What are you thinking about?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because I was thinking like no, 11/22/63, homeboy time traveling runs into Richie and Beverly, but that was like wait no that's in the 60s, dumbass. That's what because
Yeah,
he's trying to stop JFK. Yeah,
yeah,
because yeah, the losers was in the 80s. Yeah,
yep,
yeah. But
yeah.
now
So
I do appreciate like the Dark Tower references though, like all
mhm.
the turtle references and stuff like that. Like that's cool because like but Pennywise always had a tertiary connection to the Dark Tower anyway.
I mean,
He
he's on the scheme of things, Pennywise is basically a servant. It's like
yeah.
we think he's this big bad guy, and like yeah, I mean he's a formidable monster, but compared to his boss, the Man in Black,
Well,
he
no,
ain't
well,
shit.
Pennywise isn't even necessarily like subservient to the Man in Black. Pennywise is more of like he's more of like he doesn't even he's a being that's probably on equal power, but it's not like he's not even his machinations are not shared by the Man in Black at all. Like they're just kind of living in the same world,
Okay,
like but kind of like separate, like kind of entity kind of deals. Because that's part of the whole. Like there's multiple different gods and everything on the levels of the towers, right? Like there
okay,
and yeah, there's multiple deities and weird shit going on. Because Gan the turtle, like that, there's that whole thing, and like the
hmm
guardians of the beams, and Pennywise is like one of Pennywise would be like the Crimson King side equivalent to one of the Guardians of the Beams, like
okay,
Bear or the Turtle or whatever, like the things you had to kill to get the beams broken, except the bad
hmm
guy side. So not
okay.
necessarily like a part of like the main game, but like just kind of there as a big bad that
Or
you kind
a
of
big bad guy that didn't have any ambition to do greater things.
right, yeah, and it's like we just kind of poke at the sides of their real story or their story and their involvement in it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I always interpreted it basically like the Man in Black was basically the guy who was like he was the one that was the the doer. He was the one that had the plans and basically ambition and whatever else. So I always felt that basically Pennywise may have been a little bit subservient to him just because he didn't have those similar
Yeah.
ambitions.
Yeah, no, the Man in Black, like he had his own deal, but he was a subordinate of the Crimson King.
Okay.
And yeah, and then but then stuff like From a Buick 8. Do you remember that book?
Oh yeah.
Where
Mhm. Yeah.
the
I never read that, but I'm familiar with the book. Yeah.
Stephen King's other possessed car book. The entity possessing the car in a Buick 8 is very similar to Pennywise. Except it
Ah.
has like a different kind of like lore and logic around it. But like
Okay.
the Stephen King universe is really weird and awesome in a way, and then like it's also infuriating in another way too.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but
Well, it seems like it's like he's been building it for over the decades, but he still hasn't found like that one cohesion thing that like here's how to categorize everything. Here's this thing. Here's this thing. Here's this thing. Sort of thing like that. It's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of connections, and if I brought them all together, I could build a universe. I just haven't yet.
yeah. Well, I think that's also part of the beauty of it too, because it's like there's not like the Stephen King universe volume 4. Like you don't have to read them in a specific order. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
I can pick up Tommy Knockers and read that and not like have to give a shit about how it connects to Pet Cemetery or something.
Yeah.
Like so I do appreciate that. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed like discovering as a Stephen King fan, like those little connections as I just picked up a book and read it. And I would
Mm.
see things referenced in other books that I had read more and more and more. And
Okay.
then
Yeah.
like, yeah, so that was part of that was a lot of fun. And then once they started paying off later with like Dark Tower in the Dark Tower series when stuff started getting answered.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like some of what Roland did in the Wastelands is in the Stand world where it had moved on. Like we're just further down the line after the super flu. And it's like, okay, like because I was putting that together when I was like 14. And so it's like I felt really good about it because it was like, okay, what if this is like what it's leading to? And yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I'm a Stephen King dork. What can I say?
There are definitely worse things to be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, man, I think we've got just about talked about everything we're going to talk about tonight here.
Yeah, I think we beat a lot of horses to death.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, of course. I knew we were going to talk a lot about Derry because I was like, if you actually got to watch it, then I knew you were going to have something to say about it.
Yeah,
and I was curious to see what that was going to be. So
that is one of the reasons why you brought me on this show. He's like, whenever we first started doing the television gig and everything, he was like, yeah, you're the first person I thought of because you watch things and you have opinions.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, thank you. I felt abrasive, but I'm glad that
yeah, of course, and some of those opinions were different than mine, which is the whole fucking point. You
Yeah.
know, if I want to hear two people talk about the same damn thing the same way, then that ain't a show. But if you got you got differing opinions on things and different background or different, whatever else, and yeah, that makes the discussion more interesting. So that's the point. There you go.
I do look forward though to hear you tell stories later about the whole Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner chase of the U.S. military trying to harness Pennywise. Which probably pisses me off about as much as the dumbass shit that Alien Earth did, where you've got the xenomorph as an attack dog.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, no, that's some horseshit. Timothy Olyphant is my favorite. That's another show for another time. We've already ran.
That certainly is, yeah. So we got to figure out what we're going to talk about for next week here. And of course, we got AEW Full Gear here in about 2 weeks, I think. So it's right before Thanksgiving. So that'll be our next. I think that's our next pay per view because WWE doesn't have anything before because Survivor Series is after.
Survivor Series is after. Yeah, Full Gear's first.
Yeah, so all right, so yeah, we got Full Gear to talk about. So, and hopefully, round 2 of Samoa Joe and Hangman Page. Maybe Joe will get that AEW championship one more time, baby.
We can only hope.
Oh, I'd love to see it. I love to see because I love me a heel Samoa Joe. I really do.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, always a good show, brother. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I appreciate you always.
Glad I got to stay the whole time this time.
Hey, internet, stay with us. Yeah. And definitely Martin, Bradley, Diamond Dave, good to see you guys in the chat. And Steve, also good to have you guys in here.
Yes,
you all have yourselves a wonderful week, and we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum. And of course, we got a little promo from our friends from CB4K, Comic Books for Kids, to hang us out here. So you all have a good one. We'll see you next week.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Troops, and overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.